I bought this headphone, and these are my unfiltered opinions. It is obvious that all the effort went into the design of the NTH-100. The innovative headband with the twist lock system is fantastic. The combination of metals in all the right places makes these feel incredibly rugged, and at a glance there is no part that feels like it will break soon. Of course, we know that these plastic parts around the twist lock headband system have had many problems in the past, so I don't think I need to make any further comments there. On one hand, the cable feels like a solid, slimmed down microphone cable, so the quality of the cable is not in doubt. However, as a functional headphone cable, it is terrible. It is too springy, has too much memory, and it transfers all vibrations directly to the cups. It's one of the worst cables for transferring microphonics I've ever heard, competing directly with the original HE500 silver cable. Ergonomics are easily one of the best parts of this headphone. While there might be a case for these to not fit larger ears, I don't have a single problem with the earpad shape and size or any part of the wearing comfort, which is accentuated by the Alcantara upholstery and the layer of cooling gel inside the pads, which works surprisingly well. Moving on to the sound, these are among the worst modern headphones I've heard. Looking at the graph, you might be fooled into thinking these have a very smooth and well-tuned tonal response. And while there is some truth to that, there is actually fairly bad channel imbalance. They have also been tuned very forcefully, with an absolute chonker of a slab of felt, and therein lies the Achilles heel. This felt doesn't veil the treble, it puts a blackout curtain in front of it, totally muffling anything to do with airiness, guitar plucks, and cymbals, and likely plays a hand in destroying other aspects of the sound, such as imaging and staging. It's more than likely that the earpad design is also playing a role in destroying the overall sound quality. Trying out some other random pads I have lying around yields improved airiness and significant tonal changes, but since these earpads and their mounting system is proprietary, there isn't any practical solution to this. The mid-range is largely acceptable in tone, but it is marred by a dominant mid-bass warmth that is made more prominent by the lack of sub-bass and treble, leaving behind a very thick and dull kind of timbre that has no place in a studio headphone. The NTH-100 fails not only at being a studio headphone, but quite spectacularly at headphoning in general. To be blunt, soundstage is almost non-existent. Imaging is tiny and mostly uninformative, creating a sort of bubble of sound just behind the eyes in my head. Overall presentation of sound and music is very compressed, dull, and lifeless. Not close enough to neutral for studio use. Treble performance is poor, and poor channel imbalance, which I have confirmed is not due to which side the cable is plugged in. Measurements were the same no matter which side the cable was on. The only thing I own that comes even close to being a comparison for design is the Magnat LZR980, with its thick earpad material and with its unusual shape, relatively heavy rear damping, and focus on design. To be clear, these headphones are only average at best, but have a pretty great fatigue-free, bass-focused tuning. The first thing I notice is that the LZR980 has a significantly wider soundstage, actually useful imaging, a touch more sparkle in the treble, and by comparison, a sense of space and airiness. Of course, it's still a closed back and sounds like one, but the NTH-100 is positively claustrophobic by comparison. Also, the LZR980 doesn't sound thick and dull because it is slightly scooped in the 300 to 400 Hz region. The dip at 4 kHz does not appear on manual tone sweeps. That is a mini DSP ears artifact. This is not a studio headphone, or particularly technical, but in a pinch, I would grab these over the Rode, no question. For a first effort, Rode could have done worse, and considering a very decent effort that went into the build and ergonomics, I think they can make some big improvements if or when they make a second version. If you hate treble, large sound stages, imaging, or just music in general, you might love this headphone. There isn't a single case where I would take this over, let's say, the Kiwi Ears Ellipse or any of a long list of vintage studio headphones. So if you're looking for a cheap headphone to start your music career, get one of those instead. If you absolutely need to go for something closed back, you can literally pick any of the other modern legends at a similar price, and you'll have a better studio tool. And finally, in case anyone thinks I have a personal vendetta against Rode, you'd be incorrect. I have been using their NT-USB microphone since the very start of this channel, and it has been nothing but a pleasure to use. That's it for now, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.